This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Okay, it's the crew from Notebook. What's up, Zaheer? How are you? Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too.
And the wonderful Dhvani. Welcome back into studio. All well?
Yes, thank you.
Vishal, Mishra, first time on my show. How are you, man?
I'm very good. Thank you so much.
Good to have you back in
Pleasure's
Radio
all
1.
mine. Thank you.
And Pranutan, welcome to the movies.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to kick it all off by saying that I just love the visuals in the trailer in terms of the fact that, where is this house in Kashmir that you guys found? It is just so gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's exotic. You want to tell me about it?
It was actually a set that was made in the middle of the lake.
Wow.
So it took 30 days and 80 workers to make that set.
It's a floating set.
It was floating set in the middle of the water. It was made on
Drums.
barrels, on drums.
Wow.
It was floating on that,
And it was obviously rooted enough to take the weight of the children and you and the camera crew and everybody,
it
right?
wasn't rooted, it wasn't connected to anything. It was just floating on the drums.
Just floating on the
On
drums.
the drums, yeah.
Wow.
So we had like a weight limit. We had to make sure that there are not too much equipment on the set, or there are not too many people on the set, unwanted people on the set at any point of time.
And the school is called what? It
Buller
comes up.
Public
Public school.
Buller Public School.
Is there any reason why it's called that, or is just the writer's imagination?
Buller is a place in Kashmir.
Ah.
So it's a lake called Buller Lake.
So that is why.
Yes.
Why don't music directors and singers ever get taken to locations so that they can actually get inspiration from wonderful spots like Kashmir?
Inspiration from them.
No, he wanted to come and he's promised us a million times.
Isn't that a valid question? Vishal and Dhvani,
I'd love to go.
Me and Zaheer, we were constantly in touch and trying to make plans for me to come there. But because I was so engrossed in making the album, it's been 9 months that I've not done anything else, and I was virtually there. I was there with my heart, but I was here. It was needed.
No rest for the wicked.
No rest for that.
I was a last minute addition, so
You were?
yeah.
Wow, song has to happen. Call Dhvani, where is she? Come now. to the studio, that way.
No, I think Vishal has been very kind, giving me the song, and I can't be more thankful. I mean,
That's so sweet of you.
Lovely.
Such a beautiful addition.
Yeah, such
To
a
the
beautiful
Notebook
addition.
family.
yeah, thank you.
Totally, such a beautiful addition, not just in voice but even in presence. Wonderful. So you're obviously you've been asked all these questions about your legacy and things like that, and the fact that does it weigh down on you, and what a wonderful legacy that is. What's your favorite film of your grandmom's, for example?
Bandhani.
Why would you say that?
I think the graph of the movie, it takes you through a variety of emotions. I think the character of Kalyani, she transforms from a young village girl to a prisoner.
Yep.
So I think that's beautiful, and to feel empathy for that character because it's written and portrayed so well, it moves me every time I watch it.
Zaheer, there's this picture of Salman Bhai and yourself which has gone viral, which is him picking you up as a little child.
Yes.
Give me the backstory to that picture. Well, what happened that afternoon or the evening or the morning or whenever it was?
That picture, it has a fun story. My dad and there was a cousin that had come home to stay, and she wanted to meet Salman sir, and we went to his building and we called him. We were passing from there, so he said, "Let's check." My dad said, "Let's check if he's there, so you can meet him, say a quick hi." And so dad called him. Phones had come new then, and dad called him and said, "We are below a building," and he's like, "Oh, I'm stuck in shooting, and I wanted to make it." And he kept having a conversation about random stuff. And next thing I know, I see Bhai's car is pulled in, and he's standing behind dad and talking to dad on the phone. "Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't make it, and I'll be late, so maybe some other time." And my dad said, "Okay, cool." And he hung up and he turned around, and Bhai was standing there and laughing. So and that's when we took the picture.
And this was in Galaxy,
Just below Galaxy.
just below Galaxy. Yeah, so at least that much hasn't changed. He's still there. So Vishal, I mean, the fact that you've got these two wonderful songs so far, I mean, these are the ones that we've heard, which is Nahi Lagda as well as Leila on this soundtrack. Does that mean that the entire album is going to be yours, or is there a mix of other tracks on it?
No, it's a totally solo album,
That's
and
lovely, isn't
it's an original soundtrack. Actually, I'm doing the OST of the film as well. I'm scoring the film as well.
And you're doing the BGM, that's the background music.
Yeah, that's what we call it in India. But and it's an original soundtrack, totally, with all original songs. There is no recreation. So it's a fresh of breath air actually in today's times.
I'm really looking forward to the background score. I mean, you've obviously incorporated a lot of Kashmiri elements, isn't it? Because the film is like that.
A lot. But the treatment of the background is something that people will find very interesting. I wanted it to sound very different, and I'm working on it day in day out. And because the songs of the film as well, if you see, you can't put these songs in any other film, or you can't have any other film song in this one. It's very script derivated, and that's how the background is also, because it's just doing what the shots are saying, what the actors are saying, what the screenplay is saying. So I'm just trying to make a syncopation there, and I'm hoping that when people see the film, which they should, because it's a great film, and not because I'm working on it, just because I've seen it and I can vouch for it. I think it's amazing.
So
people like it.
So Dhvani, there's this whole rock ballad kind of feel which is there in Nahi Lagda, and Leela is more like a quintessential love song. And you've proven that you can do the party one with your eyes shut, the party music. But the fact that you've sunk your teeth into this ballad, I mean, the whole lyrics. What do you do? Do you sit with the lyrics for a while before you go and do your take, or do you just go instinctively when you get on the mic and just execute? How does it work?
No, I'm not a pro. So Vishal gave me the song beforehand. He sent it to me. I rehearsed for I think 2 days.
Yeah.
And then in the studio also he gave me like an hour and a half to be with it. And then we dubbed the song. It's quite difficult. I
It's
mean,
very difficult.
For me, it was very difficult. And him and the producers, they've shown immense confidence in me, and I'm so glad I got this song, honestly.
So that's important for you, that your singer spends time with the lyrics, absorbs them, or would you just let them go with their gut? What is your modus operandi? How does it work?
I'll tell you, sir, when I make a song, like I don't have songs. I make a song when I get inspired to make it. For this one, Laila, it was very important for Dhvani, and she was the only girl that I thought that can do justice to it, I was thinking about a lot of options, the producers were thinking of a lot of options, but when we chalked her out that, okay, she's the one that, and there is a great quality in her voice, that her quality, the voice that she has, it's got a rock star attitude, but that attitude comes with a lot of finesse, which was very important for the song. And there were 80 people playing live on the song.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I've done the orchestra in Europe.
It was very difficult to impart the energy.
Yeah, so when she was singing, the violins were not there, the orchestra was not there.
It's like one of those Philharmonic orchestra kind of things.
Yeah, so I did it in Macedonia. It was -6, I remember. It was snowing.
Which is Greece.
Which is Macedonia is a country on its own, but very close to Greece. Yeah, some 300 miles away. So the orchestra was there, and there are 80 people playing live on it. When she's singing without the orchestra, the only thing that I wanted her to do is feel it. I said, you sing it out like you're singing it to your lover, but in a rock star way that people are watching you sing. That's what I told her.
Absolutely.
And Dhvani ain't saying who her lover is and who she thought.
But she nailed it and how, and I'm so happy that people are reacting.
Thanks to the lover, whoever he is. We had a
Thank you from all of us.
Big thank you for all.
But she's done a great job.
Really,
She's
really
done a
great.
great job.
Thank you.
So Firdaus, I mean, it's obvious that she's come to the school to teach these kids. What kind of a girl is she like? I mean, is she fun-loving? Is she a bit of a serious, sensitive kind of character? Just break her down for me.
She's extremely mature. She's had a life which has been a bit emotionally effective through the growing years, and obviously in her young age as well. She's very opinionated, and she believes in speaking her mind exactly how she feels it. So she won't agree because she's meant to agree, and she won't disagree because it's the right thing to do. She'll say exactly what she feels like saying. So I would say a very, very independent, mature, strong woman. That's what I would see Firdaus as, and somebody who loves children, like adores children.
And these kids they are just lit, man. How cool are they?
They are honestly the best thing about this film.
Isn't it? I mean, I see them in moments. I mean, we only have a trailer and some other stuff to go by, but the fact that they take the piss out of you and take the piss out of her, and are they actually like that, or were those lines?
All the time. All the time. So we have one Sharif Bacha, which is his name is Mehruz, who plays the character of Imran in the film. So he's the very sweet, non-musty kid who's a phenomenal actor, but the remaining 6 of them, 5 of them, six in
by
total,
6,
yeah. So 6 of them, they are all the biggest mastikhors I've met in my life. They can go on talking. Like I tell all of them that you should become an RJ because you guys can really talk and hold a conversation. And it has been a blast working with them.
And these are local Kashmiri kids.
They're local Kashmiri kids. We casted them from. There was a workshop that happened, and from that we shortlisted few kids, and then we selected these.
You know, there's another film which is set in Kashmir called Hamid, which is just coming out. And the boy who plays Hamid in the film was in, and you know, he brought along a couple of his cousins or whatever. And their lehja, their manner of speaking, their Kashmirat is just so cool. You know, they make love to the words. It's just so wonderful. And all of them have accents like that. The kids, when they're not on camera, obviously, yeah. They speak the Kashmiri kind of Hindi. Is that it?
Yeah. So it's they all surprisingly had very different accents. I don't know how, but all 7 of them had a sort of a different style of speaking and stuff like that.
But you're right, that mithas was there in every one of them.
All of them. Huh?
Certain words they used,
Yeah,
all of them. Like they
very
would always
common.
say, "Photo uthao."
Picture banani hai.
Photo
Picture
uthate.
banani hai means they want to be in the film.
Yeah.
But they would, so it's really funny because one of them said it on stage at the trailer launch ki, and they say Salman Khan. Like they don't say Salman
there's
sir
no
or bhai like
this
us.
and that.
मुझे सलमान खान के साथ पिक्चर बनानी है. So that's the way they talk.
They're all producers in the head. Maybe they want to produce the film. Never know. Because they're quite smart there.
Okay, since the guitar is nowhere around,
I think
We
the
should-
guitar is outside.
is it outside? Will somebody just peek outside? Because I need to hear Dhvani's wonderful voice singing and Vishal playing some stuff for us. Is it there?
It's been such a beautiful day for us, musically. Zaheer and I are just chilling in this beautiful unplugged version of these inspiring people. Really, actually it's been fab.
Very,
You're
very
like,
kind of you.
you're like a multi-instrumentalist because I've seen YouTube videos of you being at it on your keyboard also.
I play 22 instruments.
So,
And he's never learned even one. No professional training.
so this is all on the fly, huh?
It's
Very
happened
impressive,
to me
bro.
by fluke.
Wow.
I'm not here by chance, by choice. I say that a lot of times.
But they always say that for composition the keyboard is the best. Like if you bang away at keyboards, or would you disagree? I don't
It's my
know.
first love. I play the piano to satisfy my soul. I play the guitar to satisfy the audience.
He's quite a philosopher.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, you keep talking, you get engrossed in him.
like an elevated soul.
We all have an intellect crush on.
Yeah, on
A
Vishal.
crush on his intellect.
You know, that
Intellect
is a compliment which makes me happy. I wish it was otherwise. That's sweet of you.
Okay, what are we doing? We're doing Leila. Yeah.
We're doing Laila first.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
मेरे सर पे होगी धुन तेरी, तेरे सर पे मेरा फतूर होगा. मुझे तुम पे नाज है जितना, तुम्हें मुझ पे उतना गुरूर होगा. मैं लैला की तरह, तू मजनू सा मशहूर होगा. देखना एक दिन जरूर होगा. देखना एक दिन जरूर होगा. देखना एक दिन जरूर होगा. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Lovely. Can I ask you to do a little bit of Nahi Lagda?
Yes.
I mean, you've done the vocals on it yourself. Yeah.
But that laptop of yours reminds me of my law school days. Yeah. Is it the thing?
You also did law. You also did law.
Is it a ThinkPad?
Lawyers in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Contracts, no problem.
Is it a ThinkPad by any chance?
No, it's a Dell. It's a Dell. I don't know if it's
You
called.
completed law, Vish.
Huh?
You completed law.
Yes, I did BBL.
You did beat. Oh, wow. And
Even
you
I did a
what?
double degree. A
My
bachelor-
rank in CLAT was 45.
Oh wow.
Oh, now I feel very
so
happy.
let me just say-
So you went to an NLU?
I did not go for an NLU
LLB,
because I was late for it. I was shooting.
BBLLB something he said.
BBL.
BBLLB.
He's so upset with this. No, I didn't do it.
No, I'm still studying.
No, I want to know
That means
this.
that's what I'm asking. What is
So basically, you give a common law admission test after your 12th, and based on the rank you get you are placed in an NLU, which is a national law
Isn't it
university.
flat?
So Hyderabad is very good.
We're not live, no?
There's National School of Law in Bangalore.
That's the
There's,
best.
NLSIU, yes.
Nalsar in
Nalsar
Hyderabad.
in
Nalsar in Hyderabad, then LSIU is in Bhopal.
Yes.
Then you have a National Law School in Lucknow.
I just know one government
then
law college
Then
in Bombay.
Kharagpur.
Yeah, that's
All I know.
That's
Oh
right,
wow,
yeah.
it's the best, na? I think.
Which one?
Which
You did
is
from
also
GLC.
supposed to be
Yeah.
Bangalore.
I was in a moot court competition in Trivandrum, and I went to this academy called the KLA Law Academy. And so I was in my first semester,
Okay.
and I defeated GLC, I defeated Symbiosis, and then in the finals I defeated NLS Bangalore.
Oh, wow. So
And I was the
have a
youngest mooter in the country to win a moot court competition.
Wow.
So let me ask you this question. If you were still in the law, would you do litigation? Would you do criminal? Would you do corporate law? What would
I
you do
was,
if you were still doing law?
Real estate. I did that for the longest time.
You
and
were
I-
already doing real estate.
Yeah, so I actually did an internship in every field because I wanted to explore all the aspects. So I did litigation and that I did civil criminal. I did corporate and yeah, I hated corporate. And I did real estate. So
In Bombay, in India.
in Bombay, yeah.
So you must know RERA like the back of your hand.
Not RERA because RERA came later.
Came later. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Rera at the back of my hand.
That's a builder. You're a builder. So
I did that for 8 years.
this whole conversation is going in a very, very different
Yeah, yeah.
direction.
The
It
first
could
time
be
we
the
spoke-
property show.
We've spoken so much about
We've spoken so
property
much about
because
maps. I still remember the first time we went out. So we were talking about how how you fold a map. I still
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the way I said I know how to fold it. He's like, yeah, even I know how to fold it. So basically, you might think we're psychos, but it's very difficult to fold those maps, those property maps, which come. It's actually it's a skill. I'm telling you, it's very very difficult.
But don't you come to know because of the wo jo chhapa
No,
aa
you
jata hai.
don't. You think even I used to think like that.
there's so many of them, that's folded.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
it has to come in such a way that it's 3 layers. So it's one the big plan, and then uske niche one more, and then the niche one name comes with the architect's name and the entire
Yes.
property CTS number and everything.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be folded like that, but that comes in the front. So a lot of people sit for half an hour and then that number's not come there.
Okay.
So they open it again and
Yeah,
keep doing it.
it's-
It's quite a task.
It's very
Lovely.
annoying.
So
real estate, yeah.
smart people, should one buy property or just rent? Everybody says it's not the time to buy.
I think it's the
Zaheer
best
will
time to
use
buy
it.
any property. Yeah, it's a very good.
But I think real estate is always in a good place. Huh?
Not necessarily, not always. But,
I had this lecture in
Market was
school.
very down. Even 2 years back. It was
I think right now is the
horrible.
time to go to B-tier cities and just invest money.
Just invest money. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
wherever,
investment's always
whatever
good.
prospering.
Yeah, that's
True that. I'm loving this
Time
conversation.
but investment is always good.
It's so relative. No?
This is so
A good
cool.
Time or not a good time to buy property depends
Yeah,
on what
that
you
you
want
need
to
to
buy.
see.
Absolutely.
No, because the whole millennial view now is saying that, why would you want to burn up so much cash? You go and rent in a great building, whereas our parents always taught us the exact opposite. Saying, why would you want to pay a bank loan off?
Yeah.
Why would you want to pay a lump sum to a landlord? Just pay off a bank loan and give installments on a bank loan. But everything seems to be changing these days, dude.
No, I think it depends on the perception of everyone's mind. I've seen my father do it all my life, like going through properties and figuring it. It depends on the individual, what actually you're seeking for yourself.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to buy a property probably in the suburbs or in the city in Bombay, somebody might be thinking of buying a 100-acre land somewhere and building a farm and renting something here. So it depends on what you want and what you need.
So now that we have got done with your primary jobs, let's come to the
Come back to our passion.
to your passion.
So now he's building dreams, huh? Just saying.
So why does he have a cast? I mean, what happens to your character that he's got a broken hand?
So I have a fall, which I think it's better if you see the film.
Fair
to
enough.
know why I
If
have
it's
that.
giving too much of the story away,
Yeah.
I'm also very
Yeah,
intrigued.
but why?
I'm also very intrigued because there are flashes in the trailer of some army vans and this and that.
Yes.
So is that also giving too much of the story away?
No, I am playing an army officer in the
Okay.
film. I was in the army. So yeah, that's all I can say about it.
I just love the fact that here's a plot and the central part of the plot is two people who are going to a remote school to teach. I don't think there's enough of that's happening in India, and especially in Hindi cinema. I mean, Three Idiots had this wonderful character graph that went to Ladakh of somebody teaching and things like that. So what are the subjects that you guys teach? I mean, is it just general middle school or junior school education?
Yeah, so we're teaching kids. So it's primarily we teach all the subjects to the kids. So we have to teach maths, English, history, everything. And
Yeah, it's like how when kids are younger, they have
Yeah,
one class
yeah.
teacher.
They have one
teaching
class
them
teacher
everything.
teaching everything. Yeah, cool. And Nitin Kakkar, your director, It's unfortunate because during Mitron he didn't come in. So the last I met him was during Filmistan.
Yeah.
So he's obviously a very interesting mind. What kind of a person is he? What is your reading of him, Pranutan?
I call him a Sufi banda. So basically, I don't think there is anybody who can spend time with Nitin Saw and not be inspired by him. I think 1 hour and you'll just not want to leave that conversation. He's transformed all of us.
I think a lot of a major part of the human beings we are today has changed in just 9 months, I think.
Yeah. And
Uh,
drastically, huh?
Drastically.
Wow.
Inside. It's not just that
Our entire
it's like this.
mindset, our entire thought process has changed, especially when it comes to films. A lot of people told me that you're very lucky to have a storyteller as your first director because it's easy to assist on 10 films and know technically how to shoot a film. To know, okay, mid लगेगा, wide लगेगा, ये लगेगा, और फिर ये edit को दे देंगे, वो कर देगा. But there are very few storytellers who keep you gripped through the entire narration. I remember when Nitin sir was finalized for the film, Salman Bhai told me, he's like, you just go to the office and spend some time with him, a couple of weeks, so that he gets to know you and he knows your weaknesses, your fortes. He can work on your weaknesses. He can, put your fortes out there. And that was in Jan last year, and it was supposed to be for a couple of weeks. And for 8 months straight, 7 months, I went there every single day for 7 to 8 hours to silently sit down and hear him speak.
Wow.
He will, I think in every conversation, he has said something to me that has changed me as a person. That's made me grow as a person, changed my mindset. In just general conversation, it's not like he sits to preach. He'll just be sitting there. You're having a coffee with him, and he'll say something that just sticks with you and hits you so hard. And most of the time, just like, how come I didn't think of this? It's such a
And
basic,
the
beautiful
impact-
thought.
The impact it has on you, and it really does. Sometimes people say things which are, it goes above your head. It sounds very great, but the stuff he says, no, you want to imbibe it in your life.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, today he's told me this, HrishiKay. I mean, that's it's like a stuff made of nirvana. It's not. It's very basic stuff. Like if you see him on set, he's like a child. He's so passionate about his work. Like if like how children, when they don't get the toy they want, how they get grumpy about it, and when they get that one toy which they want, that chocolate they want, they're that happy about it. He's like that. So his passion for his work, it just stems from just pure honesty and love for the movies.
We've been
in
very lucky in the
itself-
entire film. We've got everyone who is so passionate about work, who does not care about money and about fame and stuff like that. Like we have Vishal, we have Dhvani, we have our producers Murat sir and Ashwin sir, who just want to make good films. For them, like him, for example, when they told Vishal, they used to keep telling him, do what you want, just
Yeah, absolutely.
make this, you know the script, and they gave him the entire liberty. It wasn't कि ये मत करो, वो मत करो, ऐसे मत करो, वहाँ मत जाके record करो, यहाँ कर लो. It was a free hand, just make good music.
So
That
there was
the
no
point.
reference like do a selfish again or something
Never,
like that.
never,
Wow.
Not again.
How cool is that? People give references these days all the time. This is my reference.
I was blessed. I've been. I think in this film specifically, I've been blessed to work with the most inspiring and intellectual souls who can inject a dream inside you. And I think Notebook is a dream for me. And this is a journey that I will sleep with for a long, long time. I have worked with more than 200 musicians on this. Everything's live. That's why the humanness is there. It's incomplete. I believe people don't relate to perfect things. So there is. I have left that space for magic to happen. It's only 80% of the effort, which I think is difficult because you always want to do your 100%. So there is 80% of effort and 20% of magic space. So if magic hits you, I think it's the ultimate. So I'm glad people.
I like it that you guys are just not approaching this as your debut in acting, and you actually think of it as a finishing school for life, which is why somebody like Nitin has had such a big effect on
Absolutely.
you. Have you had anybody like that, like a half godfather or a guiding light, somebody who you really looked up to? Could be a singer, music composer, or anybody in your life who.
I think it's my dad.
Hmm.
I think
And what a cool man he is.
absolutely.
I love him.
He guides me through everything. We're like friends, more like friends than a father and daughter. And I think I'm very lucky to have him in my life, be it career or be it if I am, not feeling good about something in the day, I can just go talk to him, and then he will also advise me on my career, and he will do all sorts of things for me. He will go and take the moon from there, and then he'll come back and give it to me.
That's so
I'm
sweet.
just very grateful that I have a father like that.
Lovely. I think we're all just blessed to have the right people in our lives, to bring us to this moment. Yeah, totally. And your favorite Monish Bahl film would be, and why?
मैंने प्यार किया, for sure.
And
Yeah.
before हम साथ साथ हैं.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
actually,
it's not हम साथ साथ हैं. हम आपके हैं.
No.
Sorry, हम आपके हैं.
I
I love the
Yeah.
character. how he
I
does
like
that.
those, out of the 3 Rajshri ones,
Yeah.
those are the 2 that kind of stood out.
मैंने प्यार किया more because I feel that I've never come across a villain who's that sassy and smiles through the film. If you notice.
And a
in
very
many
good
films-
looking villain at that.
Yeah.
Very good looking
I
villain
love
at
that
that.
whole thing, so I keep asking him. That's my favorite fight sequence for me, is the one with Salman sir and Dad have when he's teasing Bhanushali ma'am, and after that when he says एक लड़का लड़की कभी दोस्त नहीं हो सकते, ये तो पर्दा है पर्दा, खपखपाती रातों में धड़कते हुए दिलों की भड़कती हुई आग को बुझाने का छिपाने का, and I remember that action he did. So he did fatak on the Poonawala bungalow ka staircase, and he sat up and he said, hey. So all that is like my favorite. So, and he's smiling through it, and he's such a villain. So I think for me that was just an amazing contrast to see him play.
In the background, when they're fighting with each other, there is a sound. Pishu! Pishu! Pishu!
Now you're the music guy. Not the effects. But your beautiful mother. I mean, was she always reluctant as far as the movies are concerned?
Not
Did she
at all.
Yeah. Or,
No.
Because
So-
everybody gets the feeling that she should have had a longer career in the movies.
So do all of us.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
happens is, unfortunately, and back in the day, it happened even more that she married very young. So she married at the age of 21, and that it was in the prime of her career. But that was meant to be, like in a way, like they were.
You can blame your dad. It's okay.
No. He's in fact the opposite. So what happened is that the unfortunately the perception is that so a female actor is married now. I don't mean to say it right now, but back in the day it was very rampant.
It was.
That so when a female actor is married, so now maybe the career is going to take a back seat. But in her head, or in my grandfather's head, or in my dad's head, it was never the case. But it so happens that work stops coming in, once you once you married, being a female lead, which is thankfully changing to a very large extent in the
And
current
you
scenario.
can see that in Leela.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
song that reflects
Yeah.
the changing times and
Empowers women.
empowers women, and the way women are now. They're not afraid to say what they believe in and what they feel, which should be the case. They shouldn't
it's very
be
empowering.
afraid of saying anything.
Although
they
Totally.
feel.
she did work after marriage. She did
she
work.
did for a while,
She
yeah.
did Vastav with Mahesh sir and my dad, and she did a couple of TV serials also. But I know what you're talking about, like that rampant work, which she I think really deserved.
Yeah.
Because she's stunningly good looking as well.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's unfortunate. No, I think one should please offer women work. Yeah, marriage is not a stoppage.
Correct. We should
It
probably call it
shouldn't
on the
be.
radio.
It's not that way anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, anymore.
Not anymore. She said that right at the top.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
So that was her disclaimer. She said it doesn't exist anymore, but back in the day.
And luckily, it also didn't exist for certain female actors back in the 60s.
Yep.
Like my grandmother did her best work after a lot of her best works after marriage. So Bandini was when she was in fact expecting. Then came Sujata, and Saudagar was in the 70s, and so was Main Tulsi Tere Aangan Ki. So luckily at that time,
And Mrs. Tagore too.
Mrs. Tagore too. I just thought of the same thing.
Saif's mom. Yeah.
Correct, yeah. I think they were also very fortunate to have filmmakers who believed that, of course, I mean, why wouldn't they work after marriage? What is marriage? It's a stage in your life which you should cherish, not that should stop you. But I think that was their destiny. But yeah, it's good it's changed now.
Nahi lagda, brother. Let's do it.
कैसी सदाएं, कैसी ये दुआएं, दिल क्यों तुम्हारा सुनता ही नहीं, तुझको ही चाहे, तुझको ही पाए, दिल क्यों ये मेरा रुकता ही नहीं, कि मेरा हर लम्हा मेरा एक हिस्सा बन जाना, मेरी ख्वाहिश जो भी सारी पूरी कर जाना, कि तुझ बिन नहीं लगता जी, नहीं लगता है, नहीं लगता जी, नहीं लगता है, नहीं लगता जी मेरा माहिया, कि तुझ बिन नहीं लगता जी, नहीं लगता है, नहीं लगता जी, नहीं लगता है, नहीं लगता जी मेरा माहिया.
Magic.
So
I
it.
really think you should make 5-10 different covers of this same song. It's the 5th time he's singing it today, and he
he's doing
sings
his-
it differently, and even
Awesome,
her. I don't know how they sing the same song differently every single time.
She's so also killed it today. Every time I've heard her sing today, in fact, I've gotten goosebumps every time she's done this on radio. It's
Lovely. So what's Kabir like?
Kabir is lost. He has a volcano of emotions going through him, and he's been through a lot which he can't express because he's been through certain things which no normal man goes through. Very few people in this world go through that, so which is hard to get over, and it kind of emotionally scars you. He's a quiet guy. He is sort of an introvert. He and yeah, I think the fact that he's the word lost describes him really well.
Did Salman Bhai actually call up your dad and said, you know, to the effect that, hey, you're screwed, your daughter wants to be a heroine? Something to the effect.
The exact words, I think.
I'm sure. I'm just saying. To the.
I was there.
no. So let's play up euphemism. He said,
Favorite word.
I used it very long. No, so he called up Papa, and this was after my audition, 18 days after my audition to be more specific. And he said that, yeah, you're in trouble because your daughter's going to be a heroine. So that was his way of saying that she's bagged the role. So congratulations. But yeah, I don't know what that meant.
And your dad and Salman are still best mates. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've been close when they were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're not those kind of friends who are in touch every single day.
Yeah.
But it's fun seeing them every time they meet, because instantly within 5 minutes all the stories
Yeah,
of all
I
the
also
stuff
feel
they
this
did,
way.
and then it's like, हाँ तू थोड़ा side में जाके बैठ, हम ये सब तेरे सामने नहीं बात कर सकते. So yeah,
But
and
same
they
with my dad.
solid enough for each
So
other.
they don't talk every day.
Yeah.
But when they meet, you get this vibe that you need to leave them alone.
But I
Sure.
think that's the best thing about Salman Bhai is all his friends say this, who have met, who he knows since 15 years, 20 years, always say that the best thing about him, that in spite of being this mega star that he is, he hasn't changed from the guy who
We
went
know.
for auditions. He's been the same. He treats them the same way. The jokes are the same, and there's no. I've seen him meet people that he's met after 20 years, and I can see that this is probably how they exactly were 20 years back.
So your showreel was your sister Sangeet, is that it?
Yes,
I know this is a story you're going to have to tell
It's
a
not-
million
it's
times,
not my
but
show.
you have to.
I hadn't recorded and showed to him. He happened to be there, and I think I always
That's
say
what I
I'm
meant.
here because I am here. Someone thought I recorded and showed it to him. Sent it to his house, a CD.
All kinds of people, bro. All kinds of
So
people. Yeah.
yes, I was dancing at my sister's wedding, and he happened to be there. I always say that I'm here because I was at the right place at the right time. He was not supposed to come there. There was a court case that he had that day, and he was supposed to go to Jaipur, I think, which got cancelled. And he just decided that, it's right next door. It was a bandstand, the wedding, and he said he just called and he said, I'm coming. I'll come for 10-15 minutes. I'll meet the kids and I'll leave. And he was nice enough to come, and that's when he started the Sangeet performance. He decided to sit through the whole thing for a 1-hour performance, and as soon as I got off stage, he offered me a film.
What song was that, man? I mean, our song is a medley or whatever.
So honestly, I had no idea he's coming for the wedding, and subconsciously, I mean, all the songs happen to be Salman Khan songs
Ew.
because I'm
Yeah, although he thinks that Zaheer just planned it with his friends.
yeah, he thought
did
he
must
was
have.
planned it,
Yeah.
but if I had known he was coming, I would have planned something like this.
Yeah.
But I didn't know he was coming, and somehow all the songs coincidentally were all Salman Khan songs. From Ye Raat Aur Ye Duri, there was Fevicol. Fevicol, he came up on stage and danced with me. So at the end of the song, I just was like, can you just come up on stage and do one step, like just to the end music? And he came on stage and he just took my friend's sunglasses, took the thingy with dupatta he was wearing on, they were on top. And he's like, Gana phir se bajao. And he did the whole entry with me from behind while the girls are dancing in the front. And he did the whole performance with me. And I got off stage and he offered me a film.
Oh, stuff that dreams are made of.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
I'm here. So
Awesome.
right place, right
So Bumro, I mean, by the way, you've done a great job on the
Thank you very
dance step. It's
Thank
really
you very
cool.
I love the dance step.
I love-
It's too good.
Yeah, he's nailed that one. He's nailed that one.
Crazy.
So I remember being a kid when it first came out, and Preeti Zinta was in the original song. It's actually a folk song. It's a folk song, but in Hindi cinema, it was used. I think it was Mission Kashmir.
It was 2000.
What have you done to that folk song? I mean, what have in
Basically,
your creative space?
we were so the flavor of the film is Kashmir, and we wanted to show the sound of Kashmir, how Pashto sounds like, how's the sound of Pashto. That's sweet. It's very sweet language. Bumro in it itself is a beautiful expression. It says, "Bumblebee, where are you going?" Bumro, bumro, case chok sot nalano. That's the Kashmiri version of it. So we were contemplating a lot of thoughts. Then we thought, why not make an original track on it? And people are getting confused that it's a recreation of Mission Kashmir song or something. But I would want to tell people that it's an original song. And the moment is such, where the song is coming, it's such a beautiful moment in the film that we needed something as energetic as Bumro. And we wanted to maintain the honesty of the album in the film, in the song. And then we made the song, we recorded it, and then I saw the edit when it came to me when he was dancing with the kids, and it's I think it's the most adorable thing that I've seen in the longest time.
Kids are a joy.
Yeah,
It's lovely. It's lovely.
beautiful.
So have you guys seen the original? I mean, the Thai film. Is it a Thai film that has more or less the same premise?
I have seen it,
Yes,
You have?
I have seen
Yeah.
it.
But as actors, do you use that as a stepping stone to do something, or you just did your own thing?
No. This is very different. It's adapted from that, I would say. It is not the same thing.
It's just an idea.
Characters are different. The entire character graph is different. So it's nothing like that. It's just the fact that there's a school and there are teachers. That's it.
So as urban city slickers, it's sometimes very difficult to pick up the nuances of what people in remote parts of India are. So the Kashmiriyat or what Kashmiris are all about. How do you get that, Pranutan, into your character?
So basically, exactly why we had workshops for about 3 to 4 months before we began and kickstarted our shoot. This was one of the pointers that was told to us, was that y'all are very urban, obviously, because y'all have been born and brought up in Bombay and stuff like that, and y'all come from families which are touchwood very blessed. Kabir and Firdaus are not like us at all. To pick up those mannerisms, to understand how people like Kabir and Firdaus would live or how they would think, our acting coach used to give us scenarios where okay, so how would Kabir enter, let's say, an airport? How would Firdaus walk? So I walk very fast in as
real life,
Pranutan, yeah. I remember when I was prepping for the role, I deliberately started walking slower because she's a more mature and calm person. Like, she's more Therawa, and I am way more hyper than her. So I tend to get really hyper and I walk very fast and everything. But she's way more calm. So I think a person who's more mature and more innately calm, that's how they would walk. So stuff like that. Also, when we went to Kashmir for Notebook for the first time in August, was when we were told to observe people in Kashmir, both of us, and how would they talk or how they would react. Although we were told to not pick up the local dialect in terms of the accent, because they are educated people, and they've kind of studied in other parts of the country. So that was something we've not picked up. But I agree with you in terms of to get the urbanness out of us was of primary importance to Nitin sir and our acting coach, Mr. Hemant Kher. And I hope we've done that because that
You
that
do,
would be
yeah. You
very-
guys look.
Show you.
Yeah, you look Kashmiri,
In
man.
the smallest of ways, you know,
1,000 guys.
when I told my friends I'm going for a recce to Kashmir, and they were like, which actor goes for a recce? And I was like, you know, Nitin sir's process. That's what he believes in. He just took us there, and we were made to go out, just walk in Kashmir, meet people, chat with them, get to know them. We would go to random people's houses because they're so welcoming that randomly you walk in the street and you just be around their house, you know, taking some pictures. They'll be like, "Arey, aao na andar chai pee ke jao." They're those kind of people. You know, lots of incidents have happened to us. We've been in some village in the middle of the lake. There's a village, and we were just walking and we're taking a picture. And this guy comes and he's like, "क्या कर रहे हो?" तो we're like, "नहीं वो boat अच्छी लग रही है पानी पे तो एक photo ले रहे." अरे अब यहाँ तक आए हो तो घर आके चाय पी लो. We were 8 of us. He took us to this small house of his, and we have sat there. He has made us the namkeen chai, the speciality there,
It's
and
called Moti
given
Mahal.
us food and chilling there. And this is not that you know that they thought we were actors and from the film industry and they were so enamored by all that. They had no idea who we were. When they asked us, we said, ऐसे office में काम करते तो उन्होंने भेजा है holiday पे. And they would give us food and before we could get up and say thank you, while you were getting up, they were like, "Arey, thank you," and we're like, "No,
Thank
let
you.
us say thank you, yeah."
How
Those
sweet.
kind of people, it's amazing.
Okay, last few questions. We're going to wrap. Dhvani, what are your plans for Holi? And what normally happens on Holi?
So normally it's not my birthday, but this time it's my birthday.
What are you saying? Yeah?
Yeah.
How cool.
22nd.
Double celebration, yeah?
Everybody's invited.
Lovely. How cool. So, a memorable Holi that you remember? I mean, you with friends, with cousins. Are you a color person at all?
Yeah, I'm a color person. Like for the rest of the week, you'll see color on my face, like proper black, the red patch here, the grey patch here. I'll be full colorful.
Vishal, any Holi memories you remember?
Holi memories. My Holis have been in my hometown. I've never celebrated Holi without my parents.
Where's home?
Home is there's a place near Lucknow. It's called Unnao.
Brother, in the heart of UP, Holi must be so amazing, man.
It is. It's so. For people to understand what Holi is, they need to come to that part of this country.
Now is where the freedom fighter Chandrasekhar Azad was
He was
from.
born.
I remember history, man. Learning it in
That's
school.
right.
Yeah.
Suryakant Tripathi Nirala
Yeah.
was from.
Yeah.
Hazrat Mohani was from there. He wrote Chupke Chupke Raat Din
I
Aansu
feel bad
Bahane.
now. I'm not informative at all.
So Holi in that part of the world is holy.
Right.
It's holy. But I remember as kids, we did not used to get out of the house because we were afraid कि कोई डाल देगा. Somebody will put us in a container full of color, and not exactly color. At times they'll throw everything at you. But this time my Holi is full of notebooks color, and I'm hoping that people go and just watch it and they love it the way we've made. the
Sweet,
film.
nice segue. Any memorable Holi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With my grandfather. So yeah, it was. I think I was 6-7 years old, and I still remember I was wearing a black and white Snoopy frock. And it was very, very strange memories. And my mama was sleeping, and because as all moms are paranoid, she is also very paranoid. But she was sleeping, so I sneaked out of the room. I pretended to sleep, but I wasn't sleeping. And I sneaked out, and I woke up my dada, and I said, Dada, it's Holi, let's play and all. And he was so my granddad is the biggest influence, one of the biggest influences in my life. And he was as excited about it as I was, or probably even more. So he got the balti out and the pitchkaris and everything, and he's like, yeah, we both will play. So my most memorable Holi has been with him. And also it was more masti because mama ko nahi pata tha. तो और मजा आया. बाद में पता चला लेकिन.
Zaheer, any memories?
I don't have any one particular, but I love Holi. I make sure I play it every year. And the last 4-5 years, we've been at the farm, at Salman Bhai's farm, playing Holi there. But I celebrate every festival like it's my birthday. So on Christmas I'm Christian, on Diwali I'm do everything. I just love celebrating. I need a reason to celebrate something. I'm going to celebrate radio interviews today. I'm just celebrating.
Yeah.
all
That's true about Zaheer. Now that he said
love
it, it's
celebrating
so true.
everything. But so I think the ones at the farm, the first time I went to the farm was on Holi. When 1 month after Salman Bhai launched me, offered me a film. 1 month later, he told me, pack your bags, we're going to the farm. And that was the day of Holi. So that'll always be a memorable one where the first time I was chilling with Bhai and spending Holi with him.
And he calls you Zahiro.
Yes, he calls me Zaheer.
Cool.
She gave me that name. and it's really
Hashtag
stuck.
Zaheer.
Yes. It's really stuck and I love it.
I have this very weird memory, okay?
Yeah.
I just thought
Yeah. Good.
it's very weird. So actually, I was very little, and after Holi, and you clean the house now because there's a lot of color. So I drank that water and I got typhoid the next day. So this is my memory.
Lovely.
Poor child.
Dhvani.
I had to say it, dude. It was in my stomach.
Okay, we're doing a campaign called Run with Radio 1 where we're trying to get people to run, starting with me because I desperately need it. Are you guys into cardio at all? And if so, do you run outdoors or do you run on the treadmill? And how long would you run for, Zaheer? Or are you more a weights person? What kind of guy?
No, I mean cardio is a must. I tell everyone that even if you lift weights for 2 hours a day, make sure you do a little bit of cardio every single day. It's just good to be healthy, and going to the gym and making a physique and muscles is not being healthy. So you could be the most unhealthy person and yet have a six pack. So do cardio. It's good for your system. And yes, I do a lot of cardio, but I do it in different ways. I love cycling, so you'll usually see me cycling around Bandra. I go to work on a cycle. I go for meetings on a cycle. Also, I rollerblade, so I like that kind of cardio. But I do sometimes when I'm not able to fit that in my day, I usually go on a treadmill and run for like 40 minutes a day.
Do you run at all, Pranutan?
Oh, I walk on the treadmill, yeah.
She doesn't
You
need
walk.
to.
And you don't need to, yeah, sure. But what, half an hour, 40 minutes?
45 minutes.
And do you do like the
try.
interval stuff, fast, slow,
So
or
I
just...
used to do the HIIT thing, high intensity interval training. Yeah, on the treadmill. But that really messed my knee, my right knee. I had a
because of the
problem with.
treadmill,
Yeah. So what I used to do is to like that 1 to 2 minutes, run on 7 to 9, and then slow down on whatever the speeds are. But my right knee started giving me a lot of problem, and I had a lot of time to. I couldn't get back to it. So no, then now I started walking on the treadmill.
Dhvani.
It was a lot of information.
Yeah.
I'm more of a weights person,
lot
but I do cardio as well. I was a dancer basically. I went for Shamak for 10 years.
Wow.
And,
So all your calorie loss is because of that.
no, I was very fat 4 months ago.
Yeah, you were?
I lost weight because 7 hours of rehearsal and then 1 hour of gym.
That's such good cardio, yeah.
Yeah, for this leja. So I had to lose weight.
Find time away from the studio to walk?
I do it for my shoots. I need a reason, like you giving a reason to people. But when I do my workouts, it's very intense. So for a person of my height and weight, I can run for 10 kilometers
He's
non-stop.
got some secret he's not telling anyone because he loses 15 kilos in 4 days.
Yeah, dude.
Jeez.
So he definitely knows
I wanna
something
have
that
what-
we all don't know.
I know, I want to have what you're having, man.
That's not happening.
Crazy on his
anything,
diet and stuff, but he trains like that. I saw him in a 4-day gap, and he's come with this t-shirt loose, and he's looking. He was 7 kilos you lost in 4 days.
In 4 days.
Yeah.
He had this shoot, so I went to him to the studio to sing Leila at that time, and then he said 4 days mein 7 kilo kam ho gaya. And I was like, what are you doing?
But I work out intensely, and I don't get time for it. But I think everybody should run. It's very important for the heart.
Yeah.
Okay, my last question to you, Pranutan and Zaheer, is who's your BFF and why is he or she your BFF? Start with you.
My best friend is Mahir Zaveri. He is an editor. He's edited the recent films Satyamev Jayate and Katti Batti, lots of films. Bazaar. He is my best friend since I think 20 years now. I think we know each other since we were 6, 7 years old, 8 years old. And I think he's my best friend because there's zero judgment. We tell each other everything without any judgment. And it's never happened that he's done something and I feel that it's wrong, which I know is wrong. And I've never done something where he feels that I'm wrong. And we just get each other. And I think and we're very secure about our friendship. So today, if I have someone who I'm so close to and I get along with, there's no insecurity that, oh, now he's becoming so close to this one and he's going to become best friend with this one. We're very secure and we trust each other. And I think the main thing in a friendship is no judgment. That's what you need in a friend.
Pranutan, who's your BFF and why?
Mine is Merzeen Awasya. So I've known her since about 10 years now. And I think it's utmost honesty the two of us have. I think there's so many times that, she'll tell me out and she'll be like, no, I think you're completely wrong. And why are you thinking like that? What's wrong with you? And I can do the same to her. And there's nobody feeling bad about anything, because that's, I think for me, the basics of a relationship, whether it's friendship or whatever it is honesty. You need to be honest and comfortable with the people you're dealing with. And that's very, very prime in our friendship. So yeah.
My last question to the two of you, Dhvani and Vishal, is we're doing a campaign called Heal the World, where we're saying, what can we do to save the planet? And we've got some very interesting reactions. For example, the actor Ronit Roy was here last week, and he said in his house, plastic packets are disallowed. I mean, even his kids are not allowed to eat out of a plastic packet. What can we do to save the planet, to heal the world? Do you have any ideas? One small thing, and then Vishal, you.
I think you go first. I'm still thinking.
I love plants, and I have a big garden in Bombay. I can't afford that yet.
But now you have like a big.
Big. I have a house. I have a huge house in Lucknow. I have a house in Bangalore, and I make sure that in Delhi, wherever, I make sure that it's full of plants and oxygen, and just give a good habitat for the birds that come in, and for the pets that I have. I love pets. I love dogs, and they need to have a great environment and keep your house as clean as you can. I think it helps. Yeah.
Dhvani.
I don't know if this counts, but in my outside my balcony we keep this food for birds, and
That's sweet.
I think
That's sweet.
that
Beautiful.
contributes
Sweet,
a
yeah.
little.
In a day and age when the birds are leaving the city because of you know the kind of pollution that we've thrown on the planet.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I want to say something
Yeah, yeah,
regarding
yeah.
this, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I generally want to say that I think a lot of problems that we have, when you say save the planet, is not necessarily not using plastic and stuff like that. I think it's education.
Yeah,
I think what we should do is educate the youth of this country, because once you educate them, they themselves will realize the damages done by using plastic. Instead of going to someone and saying, don't use plastic, don't do this, don't do that,
Yep.
you rather just give them a good education
Absolutely.
and make sure that the youth of this country, and make sure that every single person, that's one cause that I really stand for, is education. And I'm not saying this because I'm playing a teacher in the film. I genuinely believe that this country needs that, where everyone needs to be educated about the pros and cons of anything they do.
No man, we have, in kids in our society, we're telling them to tell the parents because the parents are so badly behaved.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So don't litter.
Cleanliness
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
There's
So you
this
have
video
that happening. So the more
of
kids you educate, the
Anushka
more kids will
Sharma
tell their
going
parents.
to this
Yeah,
person
yeah.
who just threw something
He just threw
outside
something out of
and she got
luxury car, man.
yeah.
You know, people. Anyway.
Yeah, it's just the
Bad
importance
habits,
of
I mean,
cleanliness. Yeah,
Yes.
it's very simple. It sounds very big. Save the planet. Nobody can do their bit to do it, but you can do it for
Keep
yourself,
your
isn't
trash in
it?
the car and then throw it
Yeah,
when you
just
find
do
a
the
dustbin.
right things, and it's about everything in life. Save the planet, save yourself, because ultimately it's affecting
When
you.
you know the damages of that, then you would definitely not do it.
Zaheer, Pranutan, Dhvani, and Vishal, thank you for the property advice. That was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.